Please note, before we started the sterilization process, we made sure all the water lines were filled and clean. In order to start the sterilization process, you must wash your hands and have proper PPE on. When washing your hands, make sure you scrub really good, at least for 1 minute, to make sure that you don't have any of your hand visibly soiled after washing. Now that you are done washing, make sure you dry your hands really, really good, and also put new gloves on. Now that the proper gloves are on, she is going to take her utility gloves and put them on as well, because she will be handling dirty instruments. And after she puts those on, then she will grab the instruments and place them in the correct sterilization unit. Now that those utility gloves are on, she can safely transport the instruments into the sterilization units. That consists of the ultrasonic cleaner, which you see that she is putting the loose instrument in now. Now she's going to go grab the cassette, and she's going to take it to the hydrum. And when she goes and opens the door to the hydrum, she's going to make sure that she puts the cassette all the way to the back. That way there is room for more cassettes later on if needed. And she's going to close the door, and she's going to set it to the right setting, and she's going to start the hydrum. Now she's going over to grab the handpiece, and she's going to put that into the oiling and cleaning area, and she's going to start that. While those are sterilizing, she's going to take a Cavasub wipe, and she is going to wipe the transport container that is dirty. And when she does that, make sure that you keep your gloves on, because it has cleaner that can dry out your hands. When she gets done with the transport block, she is going to close the lid, and she is going to take it into the transport blocks area that is now sterile and clean. She's going to walk over to the sink, and she's going to grab another Cavasub wipe. And when she grabs this Cavasub wipe, she is going to wash the countertop, because the countertop is dirty from all the instruments being placed on it. Now that she has washed her hands for a second time, she is going to dry her hands really well and throw her paper towels away, and then she is going to grab a second pair of gloves. Now she is putting her utility gloves on, and she is going to now transport the instruments into the dryer. Is now opening the dryer and going over to the ultrasonic cleaner and taking the instrument basket out. When she takes the basket out, she's going to take it to the sink and rinse it off. Then she is going to go to the dryer and take the pliers that were on top of the ultrasonic and grab the instrument and place it into the dryer. Now that she is done rinsing that off, she is going to put the lid back on the ultrasonic cleaner and place the pliers on top of the lid. Then she is going to go into the hydrum and grab the cassette. Now in the hydrum, it already dries the instruments, so you do not need to place it in the dryer like she is doing now. Now that she is done handling instruments for a few more minutes, she is going to label each bag with the date, the name, and the instruments being used and where they are going. And once she labels all of the bags, she is going to make sure that she doesn't cover the test strips that are going to be on the bag. Now she is taking the handpiece out of the cleaner, and she's going to take a paper towel and dry it off and then place it into the bag. Now that the bags are folded, Courtney is now opening the autoclave so she can put the bags in there. There is a sign on the top of the autoclave that says paper up or paper down. This will prevent from wicking. She is now putting the dental handpiece inside of the stratum. This is where you put all of the dental handpieces. Now that the instruments are in the autoclave in the stratum, she is now going to take a calvicide wipe and wipe down all of the surfaces so that they are clean. I need to wash my hands again after this.
Yes.
Now Courtney is taking her gloves off and she is going to wash her hands at the sink. Now that she is done putting a new pair of gloves on, she's going to walk to the autoclave and the stratum and she's going to grab the instruments and put them in the clean unit. After she is done putting all of the items in their right places, she's going to take off her PPE. Heidi is now walking into the room and she's going to place the box on the side of the sink. She's going to now open the box and wash her hands. Now that she has finished washing her hands, she is going to take a pair of gloves and put new gloves on. After putting the new gloves on, she then takes her utility gloves and puts those on because she's going to be handling instruments. After putting on the utility gloves, she is going to grab the singular instrument and she is going to put it into the ultrasonic. Now she's going to go grab the dental handpiece, and she's going to put it into the dental handpiece cleaner and lubrication device. Now she's going to take the cassette and she's going to put it into the hydrum. She's going to make sure that she puts it all the way in the back of the hydrum so that there are room for more cassettes. Now that the instruments are all in the sterilization unit, she can take off her utility gloves and grab a calvicide wipe. This wipe is used to clean all the surfaces. She's going to make sure that she cleans everything, including the transport box, because they are considered dirty. She is going to make sure that she puts the transport box inside the area that they are supposed to be in after they are clean. At this moment, she is making sure that she wipes all the surfaces with the cavi wipes, that way that we can make sure that none of them are dirty. Now that she is done wiping with calvicide wipes, she can then take her gloves off and use soap and water to wash her hands. She's going to grab a new pair of gloves, and she is also going to put on her utility gloves. That way she can carry the hand pieces and instruments. At this time, she is grabbing everything she can out of the ultrasonic unit, and she's going to take the basket to the sink and run water over the instrument and the basket. She is now going to take the pliers and place the dental instrument inside of the dryer. She is now going to take the basket that she rinsed off and place it back into the ultrasonic and place the lid over top of it. Now she is going into the hydrum, and she's going to take the cassette out of the hydrum, and she does not need to put it into the dryer because it is already dried when it comes out of the hydrum. She is now going to take her gloves off, and she is going to grab the bags that go into the statum and the autoclave. On the bag, she needs to write her initials, where the bag is going, what instruments are inside of it, and the date that she did the sterilization. She's going to make sure that she writes it at the top of the bag so that she does not cover the test strip in order to see that no wicking had occurred. She is now washing her hands again, and she is going to put new gloves on and then put on her utility gloves so that she can touch the instruments and put them inside of the bags. She is now taking the handpiece out of the sterilization unit, and she is going to rinse it off in the water and wipe it with the calcicide wipe, and then she is going to put it inside of the bag. Next, she's going to take everything outside of the dryer and she's going to place it into the bags. Now that the instruments and cassettes are inside the bags, she is going to make sure that she folds it on the perforated line so that wicking does not occur. She is now putting the loose instruments into the statum. She is now going to put the bag with the cassette into the hydrum, and she's going to make sure that she puts the paper based on the sign at the top of the unit. That way no wicking occurs. Now that has started, she's going to take her gloves off and then wash her hands. Now that her new gloves are on, she is opening the Statum and the autoclave, and she's going to put all the instruments inside of the clean area. Now that she is done with that, she's going to take a cavity wipe and she's going to make sure that she wipes down all surfaces. Finally, she's going to wash her hands again, and then she's going to take all of her PPE off, and then she is done.